Yeah, that's true. He called me a few months ago to say that, and um, I told him straight away that I don't agree with you. I'm sorry. That the book is much better, which A, I believe for sure, and B, anyway, it's very hard because I was part of the movie making process. So when you're part of making something, you don't really have an objective view on it at all. Um, the same way as he didn't see the movie till it was released. He put it on Netflix and he saw the movie. So he just saw this movie, like I read the book. Yeah, but I'm happy that he thought that, and I hope he continues to think that. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, Mukul, I'm in the restaurant business, and I'm sure many of you are good cooks or have lots of passion for the food industry. I meet people all the time who, would love to get into restauranting. But from an idea to making a restaurant, a successful restaurant, I know that journey, and it's very difficult. But I can't imagine, Mukul, from a good book to making a movie real like you did. How did you do it? What were some of the steps? I'm sure that'd be of interest for everybody.
I mean, it's a Ramayana. We always used to joke. Ramin, the director, and me used to always joke, and my wife and me, who's been my long-suffering companion through this, that we could easily make a movie easily on the making of the movie. Honestly, we could make 2 movies. We could make 1 movie on starting making the movie, which is one thing in itself, and the second is actually making the movie, because they both were. So I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but I mean, I've been a creative person most of my life. So in any creative process, you really start with an idea that you have, which in this case was trying to make a movie out of this book. And in the beginning, it's very lonely and you have to get used to that, I think, because creativity, I mean, unless you're in a band, when I see the Rolling Stones or Coldplay, I'm envious of them, because they are these, they have ups and downs, but they're like these brothers, they've been brothers for 20 years, and what an amazing thing. I haven't had that luck, unfortunately, or fortunately, but so you have to spend a lot of time, researching. I spend a lot of time thinking, reading, meeting people, not so much meeting people, I'm working on that, but and just seeing what is the best way to do this. And there was no real roadmap for this, because people from India don't go and make international films. They don't go to America and try to work with Netflix America or anything, or get an American director or whatever. They don't do that. I mean, I don't think. Netflix told me this. I don't know if it's true. They said nobody's done that, but yeah, maybe I'm sure someone has. But so just have to be very focused on what your goal is, and believing in something insane to most people. I chose Netflix at the time, which was about 7-8 years ago. It wasn't an obvious choice. Like today, Netflix is it's there. But about 8 years ago, when I had a choice between two people, and I chose Netflix because there was a few reasons. One was, again, this was Netflix America. I think they had 1 employee in India. They were just starting up in India. But I knew they had big plans for India and for the world at the time. At that point, again, it was just me and the book. So it was a very small project, with grand dreams, but a small, what was it? It was nothing. And it wasn't a Tom Cruise movie. It wasn't a $200 million movie. And I knew that in India, because I distributed a bunch of movies before, that in India, if you want to have a movie that you want people to see in the theaters, it can't be this kind of movie. People are not going to see this kind of movie in the theaters. And even though Netflix didn't exist in India yet, that was a call that I took, that is one way that I can ensure that my little baby goes to everyone's homes in India and in the world. So that was one very important thought for me when I was thinking of Netflix, basically. Also, I did a lot of research, of course, and found that they had an incredible creative team, and they really did to help us along the way. I met a bunch of directors, writers. LA, I was nobody there, so really tough to get into the system. It's all about a system. You're breaking into like Hollywood, basically. For people to trust you, know that you can deliver, know anything. You're just some guy who has the rights to the book. So it took some time to do that. Met a bunch of directors, and I realized that movie making is war, basically. It's like we talk about startups. Everyone knows about startups now. So an interesting analogy. I was talking to someone yesterday, a CFO of a startup.